Rant summer is here. Head on over to AJsRANTroom.com. We got all of your summer needs covered. From bathing suits to swim trunks, flip-flops and tote bags, towels, tanks, and muscle shirts. Oh, and you can't forget about the visors and the hats. It's lit. So head on over to AJsRANTroom.com and get your summer poppin'. You won't be disappointed. It's always lit over at AJsRANTroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to AJsRANTroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed. Oh, yeah. Yes. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Lunchtime Chat. Hope you have all your salads. You know, when I was at corporate America, I used to love sweet greens. I don't know if y'all have that elsewhere in the country, but we used to have this overpriced salad place called Sweet Greens, and you come in and they toss the salads together. Pause. Put the salads together. Whatever you want, whatever you like, if you want lettuce, you want spinach, whatever, and then you make it work. Anyway, I used to love that. The nice little spinach salad cost like $40, but I wondered why, we were struggling in New York City. Anyway, what up, Lynn? Shout out to Amy. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope all is well in y'all respective worlds. It was a very eventful weekend in politics, from Donald Trump's birthday to the Army's 250th birthday to Flag Day to No Kings protests all over the world. I'm going to cover this I'm going to touch on it right now, but I'm really going to cover it tonight on the RANT Experience, which is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the same channel. I wish the salad was $5, but if it was $5, it wouldn't be as good. And it costs a lot to run a business in New York City, so I get it now. But anyway, let's start with the No Kings protest. Everything I saw was tomfoolery, of course, and I saw some funny moments. I'm gonna share a couple of videos of some funny moments that I absolutely thought were hilarious. and people, but for the most part, everybody behaved. So I will say that there were, of course, a couple of dust ups, but there wasn't any catastrophes, with the exception of Minnesota, where I'll expand on that tonight as well, with the rep that got assassinated and the attempted assassination attempt on the other state rep. And the jackass that did it has been apprehended. He was hiding out in the woods somewhere in Minnesota, and they found him. So I was like, well, at least they got him off the streets. Here's the thing. I'll just touch on that briefly. That type of violence is just never acceptable. Like, I don't give a damn. Republican, Democrat, MAGA, anti, blah. I don't care. You have the right to vote how you believe is will work for your constituents. If you don't have to agree, I don't agree with every vote. I don't agree with everything. But I ain't showing up to somebody's house to assassinate them. What the hell? And then it's violence on y'all side. At first, y'all hears MAGA, MAGA did this, MAGA, because it's always MAGA, right? But it always ends up being y'all. The person that tried to blow Trump's head off on July 13th, y'all. He's a registered Republican. That don't mean a damn thing. He donated to Act Blue and voted for Democrats. Being a registered Republican meant nothing. The second idiot that tried to do Trump in, Democrat. Yeah, yeah. Every major assassination attempt in the modern era of politics, Republicans. There've been attempts on Republicans, and these are the first two Democrats. But they were taken out by another Democrat, which is so dumb. The fact that they voted no on giving health care to illegals don't pay any taxes, you monkeys. Why are they getting benefits to a system that they don't pay into? And if you come in my live stream and say gas tax, I'm going to cuss your mama out for not opening her mouth at that magical moment when your father was allowed you to come into this world. Let's review some things. A king is a male monarch of a major territorial unit, especially one who inherits the position and rules for life. Y'all got that? A male monarch of a major territorial unit, especially one who inherits the position and rules for life. That ain't America, people. That's not what we do here. It ain't gonna happen. All right. So now we've established that. A constitutional republic, that is what we are, is a government in which officials are chosen by the people and must govern according to existing constitutional law that limits the government's power over citizens. That's what we are, people. It is no different if Barack Obama's the president, or if Joe Biden's the president, or if Bill Clinton's the president, or if Donald Trump is the president. They all have limited powers. So this whole notion that Donald Trump is doing things wrong and he's unconstitutional, no, he's being stopped by judges that don't have the jurisdiction to stop him. So therefore, it's going to continue to go forward anyway. He is well within his powers within an executive branch. Y'all want to bring up acts and dumb stuff that have nothing to do with the actual argument. And like I told the last white liberal monkey that I spoke to on my live stream, I don't give a damn about the act you want to have an argument about. You can't negate, you have to negate that once you go to the Insurrection Act. And then once you understand what loophole Donald Trump used in the law to make it work. Also, that act does not stop him from doing what he's doing. It just limits the power he has in it. But it doesn't say he can't do it. But when you have wild baboons who don't understand civics, they want to come in and try to get you in a gotcha moment. But then when they can't control your live stream, they try to say, yeah, I don't think you know. No, it wasn't that I didn't know. It's just that I'm not going to do it the way you want me to do it. I run this. So, yeah, there's no dick measuring contest here because even if I have the smallest dick in this room, I'm in charge. See how that works? Yeah, that works. Sway. Oh. And lastly, retarded. In its proper original definition means slowed or delayed in development or progress. It's not an insult. It's not an insult. This is literally what y'all are. It's a diagnosis of what's happening to critical thinking, to the critical thinking of these protesters. This is y'all, literally y'all. You're crying, you're screaming, you're burning, you're looting, you're rioting, you're acting like wild baboons' asses for money. This has nothing to do with America, has nothing to do with the Constitution, it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has everything to do with the fact that y'all need a few dollars for some groceries. That's what this is about. So y'all can spare me that we're fighting for justice and you're fighting for nothing. Y'all went out there, made an ass of yourselves this weekend and accomplished nothing. Because like Donald Trump said in this Truth Social post, a huge thank you to all the King's Day protesters yesterday. I was very concerned a king was trying to take my place, but thanks for your tireless efforts. I am still your president. Great job, all. Oh man, unmatched troll. He's an unmatched troll. And the fact that you people scared yourselves into believing that this is what you were actually fighting for when you don't understand the checks and balances of our government. You just understand your emotions. Your emotions are never going to solve a problem. Your emotions are erratic. We all have emotions. One minute we're hot, one minute we're cold, one minute we're up, one minute we're down, one minute we care, one minute we love you. We're human beings. That's just the whatever the chemical makeup that makes us erratic and emotional. That's all of us. No one's exempt from that. But you can't rely on that to make sound decisions. You cannot rely on that to make sound decisions, because then you go out, you accept $200 to protest. Yeah, that's when you're doing that. That's when you go out there, you accepting peanuts to go make a fool of yourself. So Donald Trump's not a king. Um, he's the duly elected president of these here United States of America, operating within the same constitution these clowns pretend to defend. You only care about the Constitution when you can't get what you want. Not getting what you want does not mean it's unconstitutional. The person not winning the election that you want does not mean it's unconstitutional. And isn't it funny? The same people who mocked the 2020 election, which I believe, and I will go to my grave believing it was stolen, are the ones barking now that the 2024 election with no proof, you literally no proof. There was no proof that anything went wrong or favored Republicans in any diabolical or illegal way. But no, 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 we're just gonna say that, because it's just a good thing, No, wasn't stolen. 2020, we got some questions. 81 million votes, and then magically you didn't get 81 million plus. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Stop playing in our face. You stole an election, you failed, and then after you failed, you realized you couldn't create another pandemic to justify mass mail-in ballots. And I don't care what you say, and I don't care if I can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. Also, courts have no jurisdiction. That's why most of the cases got dismissed, not because they weren't valid cases, they just had no jurisdiction to try them. So when you're sitting here in my face telling me that the stuff that I saw on election night, that I went to bed with Texas literally turned blue for like 20 minutes, and that's when I turned off the television. I was like, there's no way. There's no way this is happening. Woke up the next day, Georgia stalled, Nevada stalled, Arizona stalled, everybody stalling. You had your chance. You hired your DEI cancer patient, who now we know had cancer the whole time. Then you hired your DEI VP, who was about as smart as my urine. And now you're sitting here today with egg on your face because your scam didn't work. You see, once you steal or do something like that, you then have to produce for people to take you seriously, right? So why did this person get 81 million votes if this is what they're going to come in here and do? It was all staged. They got you. You've been had. You've been took. Hoodwinked. Y'all didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on y'all. ah. And the only reason Donald Trump is struggling in his second term because of a rigged media narrative and a corrupt establishment. Donald Trump was ordained by God to prevent the United States from becoming part of the global agenda. And for some reason, y'all are mad at that. Democrats have talked about the border for decades. And then the last Democrat y'all had, the border got out of control. And then by the time he tried to fix it, it was too late. And he even tried to fix it. He was just trying to find a way to get the animals he let in a pathway to citizenship. So it wasn't really about deporting people. So stop playing in our face. It was a failed presidency. Joe Biden will go down as one of the worst presidents. Inept, wasn't present, didn't know where he was half the time in history. So Donald Trump will serve out his second term. Mm-hmm. And, unfortunately, this will be his last unless we find a way to repeal the 22nd Amendment, which is one of the dumbest amendments in our Constitution. But he's only the second in history to serve a non-consecutive term, second term, after Grover Cleveland, who I believe was the 32nd and 34th, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, that's legal. That's constitutional. So cry harder, people, because nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You all are a ratchet, pathetic bunch, and I really don't know. I don't know what would get you to wake up. There's a video I just saw. Oh, the tyrannical government and these Second Amendment people are applauding it. Where's the tyranny? So it's a tyranny. If Donald Trump was tyrannical, we would know. Y'all think tyrannical is not affirming children getting their body parts cut off. That's not tyranny. That's not tyrannical. That's not what we deem tyrannical in these streets. Right. Going to stop a riot from turning into a full-fledged war in the streets of LA is not tyrannical. He's well within his rights to do that, especially if the governor isn't stepping up. Because what the governor wants is for them to burn all that stuff down. So then they can ask for federal money and then use $3 of the federal money and then pocket the rest. It's all a Ponzi scheme. No. And then Donald Trump, like he said in the Oval Office last week, I've been here already, 2020. I'm waiting for governors to step up and do their jobs. And these governors sat by 3, 4, 5 days and allowed their cities to burn. And then when at the thought of me sending in the National Guard, I was the problem. No, y'all are the problem. Weak leadership. Mel Gibson said it best. I wish I had his video, but I don't. But he called them out. He called out Karen Bass. He called out Gavin Newsom because they're terrible leaders. Terrible leaders. So these No King protests, straight bullshit, performed by a group of paid agitators, clout-chasing influencers, and remedial activists who clearly skip civics class. Nothing President Trump is doing is out of the bounds of his presidential powers. None of it. None of it is. But for some reason, because you're not getting what you like, or you're actually getting what you want. And what I actually want to see y'all do next year is when you fill out your taxes next year and you see that no tax on tips and you see all these great credits that you're going to get. Don't file them. Don't file for them. No. This is tyrannical. You forfeit your money. Give it to the people. You claim to love the poor, right? Go ahead, give more money to the poor. You can volunteer to pay more taxes if you'd like. I mean, it's you really can. But God forbid for me to challenge you to step up to the plate, put your money where your mouth is, because you won't. You'll be filing those returns and taking advantage of those credits and those write-offs and be smiling all the way to either breaking even or getting a great refund. And I love that for y'all, but y'all are just too stupid to understand it. Let's go to the so at the parade there was this stand at one of these stupid protests. There was a stand where they had like the Trump doll, and they were beating the Trump doll against a stool. And the people just roll it.
We were just talking about it this morning. No! 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 Dog! Fat boy! Fat! No! Very good. You feel better? I feel great right now.
There's never been a day in my black ass life that I've woken up so mad at Barack Obama, so mad at George Bush, so mad at who's the other one, Joe Biden, that I went to a protest and took a doll of them and beat it against a stool to get out. What was it called? By frustrations. What was it? I forgot what it was called. Anxiety or something like that. And we're like, bad boy, bad boy. These people are loonies. These people are certified rogue baboons at this point. Who came up with that idea and then said, let's actually execute it? Y'all can execute that idea, but you can't figure out poverty. You can't figure out homelessness, but you can figure that out. You can figure out how to beat a Trump doll in some performative way for 5 cents. The level of dumb we're dealing with in this climate is absurd. Here's another moment. I love trolling, and if I had this type of vehicle, I would probably have done the same. Roll it. Yo. Play that again. Oh, it's perfect. Oh man, stupid people wasting your damn Saturday with this bull. And then when you ask the people, why are you out here? They're babbling, the usual talking points, the tyrannical, the blah blah blah. None of your rights are at risk. Nobody's deporting anyone wrong. Who's rightfully here. If you did it the right way, you're fine. If you don't commit crimes, if there's nothing funny on your application, you're fine. But if you know you did it the wrong way, that's on you. Ain't got nothing to do with us. I've hosted live streams all week. I've been called every name in the book. I've been called every racial epithet you could think of by Hispanics and white liberals alike. I shared a few of those DMs in the I think Friday's lunchtime chat. So go back and watch that, or you can check it out on Instagram as well. These people are unhinged. They're ridiculous. I remember Inked came into my live on a Saturday. She was walking past one of the protests, and it was just white liberals for the most part. White liberals for the most part. Then there was a black woman. I forgot to download her video, but she had a big old Trump banner in the middle of the thing, and they're calling her colored. These are the people. These are the equality, love. We accept everybody. No, no, no. Y'all want everybody to think alike. It's groupthink. We all have to want the same things to get along. No, 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 no. We don't. If we all agreed on everything, this would be a first of all a very boring world. And number two, if you in a relationship with anybody, friendship, I don't care, and y'all agree on everything, somebody ain't being real. So you're gonna disagree at some point. So what has Trump done that got these people so mad? He's curbing illegal immigration. He's bringing down inflation. He's rebuilding American jobs. He's dropped the prices of gas and grocery prices. By the way, gas prices in California are going up in July 1. Why? Because these idiots voted on another gas tax hike. So that goes into effect July 1st, 2025. Californians, like New Yorkers, I don't get it. I don't get it. You complain about the cost of living and all of that is valid, and then you vote on a gas tax? You vote to increase a gas tax. Okay. Um, President Trump is combating crime and lawlessness, and we're on the cusp of getting this comprehensive tax bill through the Senate. I don't understand how that all of that is putting America first. You as an American should be proud of that. You as an American should be elated. Oh, we're first. This is what it's like when you pay taxes and you're not being exploited. There's no taxation without representation. There's no sending my money to foreign countries just because you feel like doing it. Interesting. You're not protesting the king. You're protesting a man who does what he says, and y'all are not used to that. Y'all are used to the pipe dreams, the lofty promises that they know they're not going to do, or they're going to do just a little bit, just enough to shut you up. But they're not going to really fulfill the mission. They're just going to give you enough. Like LBJ said, give them just enough. Not enough to make a difference, but enough just to shut them up. I forgot to pull the Bill O'Reilly video where he found the source of where a lot of these people got paid. I forgot to pull that video. Maybe I'll put it in the show tonight. Make sure y'all tune into the Rand Experience tonight at 8 p.m. live right here on AJ's Rand Room. There were several videos that dropped last week where people were saying, "Hey, I was offered money to protest. I was offered money to protest." Ooh, and they're like, "Yeah." So this was clearly funded by some person with a lot of money and a lot of time on their hands. A lot of expendable income to pay all of these peasants to come out and do their dirty work for them, to get them all whipped up emotional over nothing. and then to act out of pocket, and then 5 months down the line, they monkey bar to the next outrage. That's pretty much what happens. That's what happens literally in all these scenarios. These people get outraged about something. Remember, we're supposed to be segregated by now. Remember, legal segregation was supposed to be back. Remember that? We supposed to be we supposed to have black and white water fountains again. Sorry, colored. Was to have colored water fountains again. So wait, did the Mexicans who claimed they helped free the slaves, they think they was drinking out of the white fountain? Let me stop. Oh god. This ain't a monarchy, but it's also not a playground. So acting like animals, if you act like one, you're gonna get dealt like one. So there was another video. Did I put that in here? I don't think I did. Um, Wait a minute. Did I download it? I think I did. Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh no, I didn't download it. Damn, damn, damn. But I may have saved it. So give me 2 seconds, y'all. I'm just looking here. You know, we on a lunchtime chat. Let's just hang out for a minute. Yeah, I mean. No, that's Al Sharpton. No, no, no. We're good. So anyway, but there was another one of these protests where this these protesters were blocking this car, and then they started attacking the car. And there was a family in the car, and so he just ran the motherfuckers over. Oh my god! No, 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 no. I'm here waiting in traffic trying to get through. You want to act like a baboon? I'm gonna treat you like one. You're a subhuman. That's subhuman behavior. So when you act like that, you're gonna get treated like that. Let's uh so here's another funny video from the protest. Let's roll it.
Look, this one's got to catch up to the rest of them. Got his sign ready already. Look. Another privileged ass white man. Look, another privileged ass white man who wants illegals, especially illegal criminals in the country. Oh, look at the ponytail. What, no man bun? Didn't have time to put your hair up, sweetie. Loser! Loser!
He didn't have time for no man bun this morning. That's why he late. He didn't have time to stabilize his man bun. Oh, these people. And he just switching along his sway back, trying to get there. I gotta get to the protest. I gotta get to the protest for the immigrants. I'm late to the protest. I'm late to the immigrants. I'm so stupid. Oh god. Oh my goodness. I'm a mess. He couldn't even say anything. Like she was so on point. You couldn't even say anything. He's like holding up the sign like okay, you're going to go hold up a sign. What are you going to act? How does that actually change anything? Because none of this is actually happening. So how are you going to change something that's not happening? It's not illegal. It's not wrong, but it is what it is. These people don't want freedom. They want chaos. And Trump is standing in the way of this Marxist, communist, big government way of life. And they hate it. They detest it. Because how dare you not be able to sell the US out? How dare you to stop us from stealing the taxpayers' money. How dare you? With these politicians, regardless of party, but especially on the Democrat side, you have to see what you always have to look at what they're not saying. When they keep saying immigration, but not illegal immigration, they all keep saying immigration. So make it seem like it's an attack on immigrants, period. And that narrative is not working. Even with immigrants, it's not working. Immigrants that did it the right way, it's not working with them. They're like, look, we paid the fees, we waited all the years, we did everything we were supposed to do. Why should I feel sorry for you? Now you have a couple of these baboons, like this one Trinidadian woman whose video I saw, where she's like, well, I came here as a child and I didn't get my citizenship till I was 17. And had I not gotten it, I would have been sent back. Well, you know what? That's your parents' fault for raising you in a country with instability. That's your parents' fault. That's not the country's fault. That's your parents' fault. Hmm. So, what prevented you from getting your citizenship for 17 years? I don't know. Ask your parents. Because it wasn't just the country. It could have been an issue with filing. It could have been an issue with documentation. It could have been an issue with any other reason. But to think that, oh, it's just the U.S. is shitting on immigrants. No. You have to tell us the full story. Always think about what they're not telling y'all people. So yeah, no kings. This is a whole circus. This is a clown show. This is a circus. America, America. Okay, so I think quality control pulled the Bill O'Reilly video that I was referencing earlier. Let's see if this is the
All right,
one.
just the
Roll
news.
it.
This is an unbelievable story. I got to give full credit to John Solomon for this story. Just the News is a news agency like BillO'Reilly.com, and it's independent. So they did some research to find out who pays for these kinds of demonstrations in Los Angeles, okay? Well, the main agency is the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. This is funded by far left people like the George Soros Open Society Foundation. Pours a lot of money into it. And then these people organize the protests. But this isn't the worst part about this. The state of California finances another group, okay? And it is called the LA Rapid Response Network. It also finances the state of California, the Coalition for Humane Immigration Rights. So that's tax money going into this organization. So during a fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023, the Coalition for Humane Immigration received from the state of California $34 million.
Wow.
So the state of California paid for those rides with tax money. Hear that anywhere else? John Solomon had it, but we had to pass it along. Staggering.
So while y'all are complaining about tax the rich, instead of worrying about where your actual tax dollars are going, because I don't know any taxpayer, any smart one, that says, yeah, let's pump money towards this. This is what Donald Trump's doing, streamlining the federal government. And your governors should be doing the same for your respective states. California, they just tossing around money. Oh, yeah, yeah, and y'all ain't got no questions. Y'all keep voting to raise your taxes. Y'all keep voting for a whole bunch of crap. Chirler.org. So I'm on the website now. Can I get it in English? Because we don't read this stuff. Who we are, about us, mission and history. Schirler was founded in 1986 to advance the human and civil rights of immigrant and refugees. Chirla became a place for organizations and people who support human rights to work together for policies that advance justice and full inclusion for all immigrants. Chirla's first director was Father Luis Olivares, Olivares. We'll get it right someday. The pastor of our Queen, Lady Queen of Angels Church. As a leading voice of the sanctuary movement, Olivares used his church to protect refugees fleeing human rights abuses in Central America in the 1980s. Chirla has since become one of the largest and most effective advocates for immigrant rights, organizing, educating, and defending immigrants and refugees in the streets, in the courts, and in the halls of power. The Chirla civil-minded immigrant families work for a world where they are free to move, participate in democracy, and enjoy human rights. Chirla relies on the love and vision of our community to organize and build power among people, institutions, and organizations to change public opinion and craft progressive policies that promote human, civil, and labor rights for everyone. Yeah, there's a need for this to a degree. The problem is when it goes unchecked and y'all just throwing money at the situation. Also the great thing about a nonprofit is that you have to report how you're spending your money. So I would like to see I'm gonna do something like call their development department and ask to see the books if they don't have it on their website. Uh, let's see if they have it on their website. Donate, support, take action, events. Resources. May rights. Yeah, so we'll be calling this nonprofit and trying to get like, how are y'all spending y'all money? Cause paying people to protest, I could think of better things to do with that money. You shouldn't have to pay people to protest. You just shouldn't. Protesting should be something that's organic. It's innate. It's something you want to do as an activist, right? Whatever you want to advocate for, fine. I don't care. But tax dollars shouldn't be funding that. And California do better. So this is just a bunch of malarkey. And then the other organization that he talked about is in Armor, the ACLU. So the Southern California Rapid Response Network. Then they have a whole bunch of numbers, which includes Chirla for immigrants to call. So menu, our work, campaigns, cases, legislation, news. No news about protests on their website. So why you ain't putting that on your website though? Why it's not on y'all website? Y'all should be like, yeah, we pay protesters. Y'all a nonprofit taking money from the state. Y'all should have to report that. This is the problem. These people go unchecked. They can do whatever they want. Yep, it was a Catholic church. But you know, I'm gonna shut up. The yeah, I'm gonna shut up. So yeah, I will expand upon the issue of the No Kings tonight on the Rant Experience. That will be tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on those good old YouTube streets. Yeah, I mean. Also, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to all of my socials. I was gonna put it at the bottom, but then I realized if I do that, oh wait, I could do this. Boo bat, what you got? Not great, but it'll work for now. Um, all of these platforms down here: TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, X, and Rumble. Still trying to figure out the Rumble thing. I send my lives over to Rumble, but they don't post ever, so I don't know what that's about. So I have to figure out that issue. But yeah, I'm active on all these platforms. So go follow, subscribe, and support a brother there. Or the there was something else I wanted to say to y'all, but I can't remember at the moment. But just be active, and in your respective states. Find out how money is being spent, because every state had protesters, and you've got to know that they did not go out there for free, because it's very hard to get people to do things for no money these days. So, especially in this whole influencer world, in this whole modern social media era, it's very difficult to galvanize people like this for no money. So, find out how your tax dollars are being spent in your respective state, because that's very important, and then start calling out the reps who are allowing it. Start calling out the elected officials who are allowing it, because yes, there should be immigrant rights groups, but immigrants rights groups are also allowing illegal immigrants to be exploited in hotels, on farms, in the hotel industry. So if you're allowing that, and you're complaining about being deported. No. You should be deported. You should be forced to get back online and do it the right way. And if you commit a crime, don't even look this way again. We're good. You should have never been in this country to begin with. But we never want to have those firm, hardline conversations. We always want to have these soft, pussified, oh, we gotta kill. I don't care about your emotions. I don't care about your emotions. You know, there are millions of Americans in prison right now who have families. They're separated from their children. Why? Because they did something that required them to be locked up, whether it's for a short period of time or a considerable amount of time. Most of it's just, a little smidget of it is unjust. So I don't want to hear anything about, oh, the system, the system, the system. If you know the system is rigged against you, don't commit crimes. Anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. We will be back in these streets tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Rant Experience. Tonight, we'll be expanding upon the No Kings issue, and then also we'll be talking about niggas. Was black enough, because apparently, there's a standard of blackness you have to have as an NFL quarterback to be considered black enough. And this is actually not a new issue. This is Ryan Clark last year said this, and then he tried to act like a victim when people came in and raked his ass over the coals about it. But it's a bigger conversation about why race does not need to be highlighted in everything we do these days. But we don't want to do that. Everything has to be race. Everything has to be racially driven. We can't just coexist as people. So that will be our uncomfortable conversation tonight. And we have, all the other topics that we'll do tonight. So we will see you tonight. And I appreciate y'all for watching. Hopefully you had a great lunch. Peace.